MWO Comp is live once again for another MWOCS semifinals match. Ghosts of Nox versus Dog Squad is coming up. Good evening, folks. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back to us again for some more competitive MechWarrior action. My name is Nutty Rat, and with me once again is One Last Bite.
Yep. What's up?
And we're
I'm
just
here again, stealing Ash's slot.
That's right. That's right. Well, One Last, I do appreciate you helping me out today. It's been an absolute crazy day of casting. We've seen some absolutely fantastic matches. This is match number 4 of the day. Match number 4? Match number 5? No, match number 4. Match number 4 of today. So we did see early on. We did see Not Dropship 5 versus Gudron Synergy. Oops, It's a Wild One versus Russian Clan Jade Falcon. We saw Smoke Adder 373 versus Diamond Shark, and now for the last match of the day, Ghosts of Nox versus Dog Squad, the final round 1 losers bracket match of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. And I believe this is what fifth seed versus 6th seed. So this is this one, and then the what was the other one we talked about? Gudron versus not D5. Those are supposedly the two closest as far as seeding is concerned.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is going to be a very good match, but it's important to point out, folks, that this is a loser's bracket, so one stays and one goes home. The team that stays will go up against Smoke Adder 373 in the next round of the losers bracket, and the winner of that match will go on to face Oops, It's the Wild Ones.
Mm-hmm. So definitely tough matches ahead. It's only going to be uphill from here for either team.
Absolutely. We're just loading up the lobby right now, but while we're doing that, let's just point out, quickly go through the format. We can see here that we are in best of 3 at the moment for this section of the finals. It is 8v8 Conquest. We have 5 maps to pool from, which the teams will ban 2 matches and then ban 2 maps and then choose the remaining 3. Maximum 480 tons, 3 mechs per class, but no duplicate mechs are allowed. All weapons and all technology may be used. All consumables can be used, and all mechs can be used. That's including hero mechs and all of the other ones that are not available for C-bills. So it's very much an open tournament here. Anybody can play all the things that they want. And speaking of, should we get the show on the road and do a map ban?
I'll tell them good to go for bans. So yeah, and like always for this tourney, we'll be picking between Frozen City, Mining Collective, Rubelite Oasis, Tourmaline Desert, and Hibernal Rift for the 5. So we were talking about this before the cast started. I don't know what these 2 teams are going to ban, but I'm thinking we're not going to see Hibernal. I think that's been a very popular ban on a lot of teams, and I believe Ghost of Nox has played it, but I think they found their groove with maps like Tourmaline and Mining more so than Hibernal, so we'll see what they do.
Yeah, we'll see. I can't cast a vote in this because, well, I'm technically a member of Team 2. I'm a member of Dog Squad. Haven't played in the finals with them, so I kind of have to hold my tongue.
And there's Frozen that gets taken up by Ghost of Nox. So that was, I'm going to go. That was my second guess, was Frozen City. Mm-hmm. We'll see if Dog Squad bans Hibernal and if I predicted this right. Although I'm thinking, no, I have scarcely seen Dog Squad in the queue. Oh, they banned Tourmaline. Okay. So that means it's going to be Ghost of Nox pick for the first map between Mining, Rubelite, and Hibernal. They're going to take Rubelite. Which they were pretty comfortable on. I mean, they beat Pee Pee Poo Poo last weekend, so punching up with that matchup, and they did not play that poorly on the map. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Now Mining. Okay, that's right. Nobody likes Hibernal. Put that in the decider slot.
Exactly. All right, now the team's got to sort out who is going to play where. For those, that's the next part that comes up. I better pull up the info link so I can actually watch that go down.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Ghost of Nox. Yeah, they took Team 2, so I was going to say the right side of the map. Now, which is funky because earlier today, I mean, I guess that's not funky for them because that's what they played against us, but earlier today we saw, I think it was, Oops, who opted for the Team 1 side? Am I getting that right? Maybe it was RJF. No, it was RJF who opted for Team 1 in the RJF Oops match, which was a good match for anybody who wasn't here earlier in the day.
Yeah,
A lot of
absolutely.
good play there.
The push strats that RJF did was absolutely amazing. That 5 mech wolf pack was scary.
And
Ghost of
Bowser getting 5 kills with the Annihilator on that drop was
oh,
something
yo,
too.
oh yeah, Ghost of Nox picking up Team 2 on Mining Collective. That's I guess kind of
Yeah,
the expect.
actually, no. Dog Squad taking Team 1. Again, Oops did the same thing, and I'm like head scratching at that. I guess they're just more comfortable with that Team 1 side. I will say that Team 1, I think it's easier to set up to trade because you have more space. Like Team 2, you are just on those thin little building edges, and it is a pain to peek around there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so maybe that's what they're opting for. But I really feel like Team 1 again kind of pins you if you're expecting a
Yeah.
brawl. So
All
maybe
right.
they're thinking that Pops goes to Nox since they won't brawl.
So you'll have to switch teams now.
Knew it. I knew it. I was tapping out and I was like, please don't tell me. And yep. All right. Swap all these. Thankfully, Ghost of Nox all tagged with GNX. Easy to tell who's who.
I mean, it's kind of easy to tell who's on the enemy enemy
And
team on Dog Squad
I was
because I mean, there's so much 228
so
over there.
close. I predicted mining for the first drop and I was off. Is Rubelite Oasis?
Privately, I did say Rubelite and Mining are going to be there. I guess
Yeah.
not so
All
privately
right.
now.
So I'm gonna put Team 1 on the timer. And okay, it's 10:10. I actually paid attention this time.
I just have a timer on my phone. All right. So with that, let's take a look at the first drop here.
So looking at Rubelite, now I have a foggy recollection of what GNX did against us, but if I recall correctly, their strategy revolved around making like an Echo 6 or Echo 7 Delta 6 heavy maneuver. So they came up here. I'm drawing in purple. Excuse me, came up onto this ledge, and I think had a couple guys back for trade, maybe just their Annihilator. And then pushed the Blood Asp all the way up into Delta 6 with a Veagle camping off this building, and then their lights kind of around there to contest Kappa. I believe they took Theta early, Sigma. So they went for that kind of traditional 3-cap with pressure. And they also pushed up on this left side with the Jaeger mech and the Rifleman. So they had this nice crossfire, which you saw definitely catch out mechs and open up lines. Like they were able to push up a Jaeger mech onto Theta in the late game because he had cover over his head. He had people right here in case somebody stepped out on him. So we'll
Yeah,
see if they stick with that strategy.
And that
Oh, go
Jaeger
ahead.
mech, when it was that Jaeger mech was standing on Theta, it wrecked. Like it was just all over the place. It was shooting things left, right, and center. It was it was quite the sight to be like, there's a Jaeger mech standing on Theta, standing tall and shooting everything. What's going on here? No, it was a good play.
Yeah, and you know, I think all those mechs are kind of like standard in their wheelhouse. You know, we've seen them take the Rifleman 2C all the time. They love taking the Annihilator. The Blood Asp is a pretty common take. So I wouldn't be surprised if they stick with that strategy. I think, if I recall correctly, Oops has gone with the smaller wolf pack with more of like a spread out towards the upper tonnage, where they have like 4 mechs, 5 mechs in their trading slash DACA group, and then they just have a smaller pack running around. So if GNX feels comfortable with taking those high DPS mechs, it's going to be really nasty for anything that can, gosh, all the Oops tags, the 228 tags. I'm like, Oops, but it's not Oops.
It's Oops, but it's
Yeah,
not
Dog
Oops.
Squad.
Yeah, don't
Anything
don't
that they take is going to get torn apart by those.
Yeah, keep in mind the dog squad was essentially the scrim kind of partner for Oops, and then we decided to form a team. So that's kind of why you see some Oops folks on dog squad. So we do have Team 1 locked in. They are set up Bravo Charlie as expected. They do have a light pack sitting in Charlie. Probably going to go for that early Theta cap. They have a bit longer to go, I think, but they have a safer cap for Theta.
You think that's a light pack? There's gotta be at least one assault there. I see Stone
there's
Falcon.
one assault. There's one assault, but I know like the teams that are the players that are there and what they play. So there is a bit of a light pack in Charlie. So they're gonna certainly kind of do that aggressive push. Which I mean, technically, I mean that's what every team's doing, right? They're trying to get that early cap on Theta. They're trying to get early scouting, early positioning information, and maybe getting that that clutch early commando kill or something like that. Because those the commandos in this series have really been holding their weight.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like it's just so hard to. Number one, it's already so hard to kill, but then even beyond that, I mean, we've seen a lot of cross-region matches, teams that are built up of players cross-region, and honestly, if you have over 100 ping, kind of unkillable in a commando.
Yeah.
So. And beyond that, I mean, it packs a decent punch. It's got good quirks, pretty tanky for a light mech, and you see like in this league the Warhammer Bludgeon that thing is so popular, and the Rifleman 2C because they just mount payloads of heavier mechs for less tonnage, and in a league like this where the format's tonnage based, it's so attractive. And the Commando is another example of that, where it's only 25 tons for a light, but you get a lot out of it.
Oh, absolutely. And in a lot of cases, you even kind of get ignored. You get left alone as a commando. They're like, oh, it's a commando. It's only got like a couple of SRMs. You can ignore it, kind of thing, and then you die because you ignored it. All right, both teams are locked in, ready to go. Match one, drop one rather, for Ghost of Nox versus Dog Squad.
Yep, and both teams opting for that Bravo Charlie, so no funny business, no weird Epsilon or Kappa plays, no mind games. I think both teams are just gonna slug it out. I mean, I think we could see some light skirmishes here, but I think in general this is just gonna go to a slow, tradey game until one side gets more hurt than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna get lost this time. Can't go too high.
The calm before the storm.
Yep. As I fly around the map and notice just all this open space that's out of bounds. There's all these like rocks and stuff, but you can't touch them. All right, I am sitting on the Ghost of Nox side. I'll leave you to call out Dog Squad mechs. Ghost of Nox is running that, same old Jaeger mech, same old Rifleman. So that's AC2 Jaeger, AC2 Rifleman. A Vigo with SRMs and ER peeps. That's funky. An Uziel with larges and ER meads. ER peep Annie on this one, and then I believe that's an ER large, ER mead grasshopper, and then a couple MPL lights.
Yeah, on Dog Squad, you got a Phoenix Hawk, a Warhammer 2C, which is a Peep Warhammer, Vulcan Annihilator 2A, which is also Peeps, Wolfhound 2, Commando, Warhawk Peeps, and Summoner Peeps. So they are doing a very rangy and tradey deck here. It's kind of surprising to see the triple Peep Summoner rather than the dual UAC 10 Summoner, which has been kind of favored here on Rubelite because it's a bit shorter. You get a bit more DPS out of it.
Hax barely made it to the cap before that Wolfhound, and he's not going to be able to take it with Spheroid sitting there.
No, Hax dancing around with that Wolfhound, pulling back, dropped a Ghost of Nox dropped a UAV. Hax was able to get out there and dodge a strike. Meanwhile, Pi 14K and the Phoenix Hawk is also up at Theta now. You can see the Ghost of Nox is starting to move in position. They're moving their mechs along the top towards the north. Saved for the Vulcan 5T, and they also have the Jaeger mech that was really popular last time is moving south.
So I should also clarify, the Vulcan that they brought here is the same one they brought last time on this map, but it's not MPLs. It's the ER large, ER mead mix. So Ghost of Nox really only has one brawling light, which is that Wolfhound. Whereas you look at the Dog Squad side, I believe they got what, 4? Because they have the Wolfhound, Commando, the Vulcan, and the Phoenix Hawk. So Dog Squad can force the issue on these sides if they find somebody overextended, and they probably will have to, given what Ghost of Nox is bringing.
Looking at the Ghost of Nox firing line, you got Carbon Fiber and the Rifleman 2C. He seems to be getting lots of good lines on one mech. You got Zenistu in the Annihilator 1P, who's not doing a lot of firing at the moment. The Jaeger mech is standing tall, not really seeing any lines yet. It's really just the Rifleman 2C is the main trader. Over on the north side, though, you do have the Grasshopper and the Veagle. They're just getting a strike there that just dropped against them. No damage, though.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Ghost of Nox have planned, because their Jaeger mech is just sitting in a little cuppy here. I wonder if they're trying to bait Dog Squad to come up this ramp in between and then have the Jaeger come out and pinch. Because right now, Inosuka's doing nothing in the Jaeger. I mean, he's just chilling. Like, he could be getting a cup of coffee right now. But, I mean, hey, Ghost of Nox is still winning trades. I think it's that Annihilator is really just better ranged than the things it's trading against. It's putting in work.
I don't think Ghost of Nox realizes it, but it's 1 versus 3 here, or 3v1 rather, for the for Aza and the Warhawk. He's kind of by himself at the moment. Meanwhile, versus like a Grasshopper, New Zealand, and a Veagle, this could be really bad for Aza here, as he is taking fire from 2 different angles, down to 74% in that Warhawk.
Yeah, Dog Squad needs to really focus up with their lights and make a concerted move. I've seen them doing a lot of movement around the map, and it looks like they're trying to pick the leg on, I believe that's Samuli, who's his left leg's open orange. So if they can get that, they can just run caps the whole game, which might be their plan, because right now they're sitting with a 4 cap, and Kag and the Wolfhound is poised to give them a 5th one. So I don't know what Ghost of Nox's plan is, but yeah, they need to move. And Inosuke's moved up in the Jaeger to force the issue, but he might get picked here.
Yeah, he's getting hit down by Brian Ferry in the Summoner. Sepp and the Vulcan is coming up to help Brian with the Jaeger mech. The Jaeger's down to 76%, pumping ordnance into Brian Ferry, but Sepp is there to help support him there. He's got the Jaeger mech has clipped his wings. He's lost all of his autocannons. He's down to just 4 medium lasers now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, on the other side, Kag got detected, smacked in the face by, I think that was the Grasshopper on GNX, and he has bailed away from Kappa. So GNX will be able to hold on to that. And it looks like they're retaking Sig. I don't know if... Yeah, I don't think Hax has the health to contest that. He looks like he's trying to finish off Samuli, who he's run into out in the weeds here.
Yeah, Aza pulled back on the Warhawk down to 53%. Cherry red CT. Still has his weapons, but I'm sure he's lost probably some internal components. You can see Ghost of Nox is starting to rotate back towards the Echo line here. Echo line?
Oh, Samuli's been legged. Hax is going to finish him. Him and Pai, I think. He is 1 shot from dying, Samuli, right now. He's got cover from the Uzil, but it doesn't matter. Oh, Kag goes down. Yeah, I believe he tried to come up behind the Veagle and got picked over there, but then they trade 1-for-1 with the Vulcan. Dog Squad still has the cap advantage, but they are rapidly bleeding health because of how aggressive they're being right now. Hax is out dueling Spheroid in the back, and yeah, they really just need to back off at this point. You know, maybe they need to pressure the Veagle over by Kappa. He is completely cut off from Ghost of Nox. If they can pick him, that's a free cap pickup. That's all they need to focus on right now.
Yeah, Ghost of Nox has 2 mechs down a bit of a kill box, but with the Rifleman 2C and the Annihilator kind of overwatching, it's giving him a little bit of protection. The Annihilator is taking some PPC fire, as is the Rifleman. The Rifleman down at 61%.
Is Zenitsu still connected? Oh, he got disconnected. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, that's why he just stood in the center of that strike. So Ghost of Nox is basically down their Annihilator right now. That's really unfortunate. And yeah, Spheroid's getting 3v1'd in the back. So yeah, unless the other mechs from Ghost of Nox make some clutch shots here, they don't even have the... Yeah, they lost their Wolfhound and their Vulcan. They really don't have anybody to decap. So yeah, losing that Annihilator definitely hurts.
Yeah, trying to get caught up with where all the mechs are here. You can see Sir Chasm and the Uzil going 3v1 here. And Sir Chasm goes down, leaving Grayson in the Grasshopper to fight up against Sepp and Pi. Meanwhile, Hacks in the Commando,
14.
14%
I know.
left.
I saw that.
14% left of that Commando.
He is. He is like you could hit him pretty much anywhere and he would fall over right now. It looks like
Yep.
no, Zenitsu's still disconnected and they're just plinking at him at this point. But
I think so. The trade mechs are sitting far back and working at Zenitsu. Meanwhile, you got Grayson and Carbon Fiber working on the Phoenix Hawk.
Shade is gonna find Azak for that kill. So another one goes to GNX, but fortunately, kills don't matter, and it's the caps that they're losing right now.
Yeah, Zenitsu goes down. As expected, it looks like he was a disconnect. We can see here Sepp is now 1v2, going against a very fresh or comparatively fresh Grasshopper, and a very damaged Rifleman 2C. And I think does that Rifleman 2C even have any? Well, it still has weapons. It still has 2 ACs. Meanwhile, out in the main battle, we do have the trade mechs that are still out there, though they've pushed up the GNX Fate. There we go. Never mind. Never mind, because it was a cap win.
Yeah, well, hate to see it, but yeah, what can you do, right, Smully?
Yeah. Dog
So,
Squad picking up the first win.
looking at the damage numbers, Helios putting in work with that Warhammer, which, again, given I would say uphill trading he had to do in terms of range is pretty solid. Probably got some good strikes in. I'm sure he got a lot of damage on that strike on the Annihilator, or somebody did. Meanwhile, on their light pack, you had Sepp and Pi both doing high 400s. Brian breaking 400 in the Summoner. Isaac doing 300 in the Warhawk, so not bad. Uh, Meanwhile, on the Ghost and Nox side, you had Carbon Fire with that Rifleman, 573. Grayson and the Grasshopper, 400. But other than that, I mean, damage is kind of low. I think Kaguru was generally, poking on backs, staying at the outside of the fight, looking for caps. I think Stone Falcon just couldn't get shots back there. I mean, I think he had AC twos, but that's a tough trade with that Annihilator from that. Like when you look at what he was trading against, clearly he couldn't get a lot done. But yeah, unfortunately that
Yeah, and there's the DC in the lobby.
Yeah, do I have to swap sides? Let me make sure I do that. No, we're good. Okay.
Nope.
Move on. I'll give them a second.
Hopefully they can sort it out, or if they can find an alternate to help them out.
Won't start timer yet. Oh, if it's fine with you, I'm gonna give them a little bit extra time for team one.
Yeah, as long as everybody's
Just
fine.
so we can talk about stuff. But yeah, I think well, GNX definitely lost hard by losing that Annihilator. I think that crippled their trade game. Really, I think it was lost in the lights and the mech lab there. They didn't have anybody that can contest the points, and like Tourmaline, Rubelite's another one of those. And I think somebody mentioned earlier, I think it was maybe I forget who, maybe it was Ash in the last cast, but just mentioning how big Rubelite actually is and how spread out those caps are. And if you don't have, when you have two, maybe three things that can go out and contest the caps and they will lose 1v1s, you're in for a bad time. And I think GNX was definitely making good early strides. I mean, they were crushing on early trades, but they just took too long to capitalize. And then when they did start making moves, Dog Squad was able to get some really good picks on the right side of the map, and that was what started to swing things their favor.
Yeah, I'm wondering if GNX realized that when they had 3 mechs here at Delta 6, that there was just one Warhawk. Like that was all that was up there on north side. It was Aza and the Warhawk was standing up in D5 and getting like pot shots taken at him, but I mean there were some trade mechs that were kind of lined up here in Echo 4. The Warhammer was over there, the Annihilator was over there. The Summoner, I think the Summoner was still over there. The Summoner pushed up.
Yeah, he had pushed up
low.
to Fox 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know if GNX realized that they really could have pushed the advantage on that Warhawk early, and and we're able to take him out. Now that being said, they did do a ton of damage to that Warhawk, getting him down to one touch CT, and made him have to kind of pull out of the fight for a bit.
Yeah. No, I really want to know what the GNX plan was, because it was clear that they had a plan. Like they had Inosuke tucked in, where was that? I think it was like this Fox 7 corner. It was somewhere over on that side. It was either that one or to the right. But they had him tucked in a corner in the Jaeger mech, and there was basically nothing that could see him unless it crossed like roughly this green line, unless he stepped out. And I know he wasn't AFK, because he was still moving, he was looking around, he was stepping out occasionally, but he was sitting there for so long. Uh, and yeah, I don't know. And I also don't know, like, if they knew about that Warhawk, because they brought all these mechs that have, like, the large and ER mead on the Uziel, the ER large ER mead on the Vulcan, like all these mid-rangey laser bomb guys, and then didn't really apply much of them in range. Like, that chasing that Warhawk would have been a perfect chance to come around the corner. And I mean, you're talking, yeah, 400 meters. I mean, it would have been like perfect.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe they didn't have the scouting. I mean, that might have been a consequence of just what their light mechs were and where they were playing. Because Spheroid and the Wolfhound, no jump jets, he can't really get up to see things. And Samuli, it looked like, was just trading more than, like, necessarily playing for scouting.
Yeah, I don't know. From my area, I was trying to keep an eye on the main battle. I didn't really see, like, aside from like the early engagement around Theta, when you had Hax and Pi pushed up to Theta
Hmm.
um, to combat it. And I think there was, what was it, one GNX light that was there to contest it.
Yeah,
Um,
the Wolfhound, I believe Samuli or somebody on his team was able to come up to this Echo 6 ridge behind him. Because I know that Vulcan will, with the two ER larges and the ER meads, can definitely run pretty quick. So
mhm.
I think they had like a stacked setup there.
Yeah, and then like for like the lights were kind of not really around a lot. They were just, I mean, they're doing a lot of capping. They were kind of doing the kind of the back the kind of that back the back shots that you were mentioning that CAG was doing, and a few others. It kind of made it it turned into a hard match to follow, just
Oh,
because you had little pockets of battle, little pocket battles all over the place.
yeah, and it's so hard watching those when you're like, is this like a coordinated, orchestra of all these different people doing different things, or are people just playing their own game and kind of manually piling? But yeah, I mean, really the big area of the match that I didn't expect to see was just how much of it was played out in like this pink area.
Hmm.
Um, Over there in Fox 7, Fox 8, like there was a lot of skirmishing. I mean, we saw at the end with the last few mechs that it was taking place in this area over Sigma, and that really isn't gaining anybody anything, So it's interesting that, number one, um, Dog Squad took those fights, which they could, and that was a good thing. Like I was saying in the middle of the match, they need to start applying fights. The converse to that was that GNX needed to start pushing up and applying their advantages, and then right then is when I realized, oh hey, their Annihilator isn't playing anymore. So really unfortunate timing for them. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it was just they needed to put more pressure on the assaults. I mean, they had Isa, super beat up in that Warhawk pretty early. They won their initial trades, but then just sat back and let Dog Squad gain the advantage. And then right after, they caught Isa sleeping on the job over here, standing by himself in the Warhawk. Their Jaeger mech got the same thing on the other side. So, um, yeah.
All right, looking ahead to Mining Collective, which is up next. Team one is locked. Team two is just over a minute into their planning stage.
And
So
Team
what are we?
One, you're gonna ask me what we're gonna see, aren't you?
Yeah, what are we gonna see?
Well, I'm saying Team One. We already have that lock, so that already fills in part of the puzzle. They have gone full Bravo Charlie, and like we showed in gosh, the matches are all blurring together. I think it was the Oops match where they spawned all Bravo Charlie as well. That's probably indicative of a early Theta move from this Charlie Lance. Either that, or you're talking about something coming across the top of the map, like just a full. They're just going straight at you push. Now, seeing what Dog Squad has taken, I would expect it's more likely that is a Theta push. Let me see if. Yeah, so based on the names in there, I think that confirms it, because I believe all those guys are their light pilots. So um, you're probably going to see that Team One dive for Theta. The important thing here is we know Ghost of Nox loves to take that wide control setup where they play a slow game. They tend to creep up the top of the map here in mining, and then they take a 3 cap. And maybe initially you see them take this Epsilon cap. Yeah, they already have Samuli locked in Alpha, who's probably going to do exactly that. So the big question is how much Dog Squad is willing to pay for Theta, because there is a good chance that GNX will have a lot of guns focused on that right at the start of the match. And if that Charlie Lance's goal is to get up there and take that, they are going to be in for a rude awakening when they start pushing up that ramp.
Yeah, but if they're able to get get a strong theta cap, that's a good move ultimately, right?
Oh
Because then
yeah.
you have the fight for theta. You've got to commit mechs to theta after everything is going, especially if people end up in the north, which is where we've seen a lot of people end up. The north side of the map in the Charlie line, the upper Delta line. You can look at theta, but then you're exposing your flank to crossfire from the enemy team.
Mm-hmm. And
So
that's the thing. Like, some price will be worth paying for that point because of that. But I think the big thing here is that if they take that early cap, if they're going for this theta, kappa, and I guess gamma take, they need to have good control over the bottom of the map, because if they don't, their only view into theta is going to be, some over the top here, but mostly it's going to be down this channel in between the buildings here. And if they get limited to that, I think it's going to get their team's going to get bunched up in Delta 4, and then you're going to see them kind of get surrounded and pounced on by Ghost of Nox. And that Delta 4 area is like the kill box. I mean, if we had a heat map on mining of where teams die, like, this would just be all red right here, because that is where
yeah.
you see all kinds of people fall over.
All right, teams are locked up and ready to go. GNX has 1 in Alpha, two, 4 in Bravo, and 3 in Charlie.
Yep. So I think looking at their names there, that looks like they've plopped their Carbon Fire. I mean, uh, dare I say, the Rifleman 2C one trick of this tourney. I don't think I've seen him play anything else. But yeah, he's up there. We saw Zenitsu and Inosuke, who have generally played. Actually, I've seen Inosuke. I think he plays their Osiris sometimes too. So I don't know, but Zenitsu has definitely been their Annihilator King. So um, probably expecting some of that traditional Ghost and Ox standoff stuff we've seen them do. I mean, we've seen them play this Team 2 mining side several times now, both in queue and in the actual matches that we've cast. So, yeah. I don't expect anything too surprising, but maybe they've got something cool to pull out of their sleeves. Because at this point, they do need to win the next 2 matches to stay in the tourney.
All right, here we go. Mechs are dropping. So I'm on the Ghost of Nox side, so you can go ahead and.
Oh, dang it. All right. Oh boy, my mouse. Okay, so over on the Oops side, well, Oops 228.
Dog Squad.
Every color under the sun, Dog Squad.
Dog Squad.
They've got the MPL Vulcan, looks like MPL Phoenix Hawk, CAG in a linebacker, which is also MPLs, and a commando, all rushing for Theta right away. They've got the BJ3 with Peeps, I believe. And yeah, that's torso mounted. So like we mentioned earlier, can't shoot down. They've got Bradley in the Summoner, and then a Annihilator 2A and a Cyclops going around the top. Annihilator is UAC 5, UAC 10.
Wow, Hacks in the Commando pushing off Ghost of Nox Commando to get that early cap on Theta with backup from Sep and Pi. By the way, Ghost of Nox having Commando 2D, a Thanatos, that's probably a Gauss, dual Gauss, heavy Gauss Thanatos, Vapor Eagle, Blood Asp, Vulcan, Rifleman 2C, Annihilator 1P, and a K9. You can see the Rifleman 2C is up high in Delta 5, Delta 6, getting Overwatch on Theta. But now Dog Squad did get a full cap on Theta, so that's a strong position.
Pretty significant. And Dog Squad is set up in pretty hefty defense of the top of the map here. Let me just double check. Oh, okay, so Helios is heavy Gauss. I should also mention he is not running the more common UAC 5 Sleipnir build. So he's kind of the equivalent to the Thanatos on their side. But yeah, Dog Squad's setting up in really heavy defensive Kappa, and they just have lines on Theta from all over. And I don't know what point GNX is going to take if they want to do a 3 cap, but they need to figure it out, because otherwise they can't afford to sit back.
A strike going off on Dog Squad, hitting Kaguru in the linebacker, taking him down to 88%. Meanwhile, you can see the trade mechs for Ghost of Nox getting set up on the north. Again, the Rifleman 2C is still in his spot. You can see Inosuke in the Thanatos is kind of in a spot to support the Vapor Eagle. You also have the Annihilator 1P that is moving up into kind of in the Sigma area, trying to look to go across the kind of the northern platform there, looking towards OP barrels.
And looking at the setup here, Ghost of Nox, I guess, has realized this issue with what they're having on the top of the map, and they pulled their Vigo and everybody over to the top side here. But while they're winning trades right now, Dog Squad just needs to hold tight. I mean, they're taking the bottom cap. They've got Hacks flipping Epsilon, and they have solid control over Theta and Kappa right now.
Yep, Buster Machine in the K9 is up near Theta, trying to maybe get a cap on it, realizing, of course, that if he moves for Theta, then he's going to be in trouble from the Dog Squad mechs. You can see Stone Falcon, the Annihilator, way up by Kappa, able to see Theta from up there, but also be able to contest. Ghost of Nox is are they grouping up for a push?
Oh, I think they are, and I think they have to. Yeah, Chasm's coming around the corner. 1v1 with Stony, I guess I should say. Just slugging it out at point blank.
Yeah, it's Daka versus Daka. Stony and that Annihilator is able to get back there, going down and shooting at the Blood Ass, down to 84%.
Nasty
Grayson,
strike catches Grayson there, yeah.
Yeah, down to 69% in that Commando. Meanwhile,
His CT is open orange.
Kaguru peeking in the linebacker, taking a lot of damage, though. Inosuke and that Thanatos, that's going to be the mech to keep an eye out for, because that mech can take out parts very quickly. Bradleyism in the Summoner Prime down to 51%. Meanwhile, the Thanatos is down at 45% here.
Pai is playing a dangerous game with Inosuke right now. Oof. Yeah, Inosuke just found a shot that could have killed him.
Inosuke standing in the middle of a strike, loses his other side torso and goes down to the strike by Pai. Pai sitting at 50% in that Phoenix Hawk. He goes down from the Vulcan.
Meanwhile, we have a light fight over for the cap. We've got Buster in the Irby and Grayson the Commando trying to fight Sepp in the Vulcan and Hacks in the Commando. I mean, this is still really close for both teams. Helios is going to get picked in the back by Samuli here. And I think Dog Squad really needs to get their guns on the same target right now. Like, they're fighting different fights. Ghost and Ox is generally all pushing down onto these assaults and just cleaning up Dog Squad in the top.
Yeah, the Cyclops and the linebacker go down on Dog Squad, leaving them 4 mechs. They do have a 3 cap at the moment, but that can change at any time. Stone Falcon taking down the Blood Asp.
Oh, and he's inside the Annihilator's range because Zenistu pushed so far up.
Yeah, Stony is basically 2v1ing here. The Annihilator and Zenistu. He's gonna have some problems there. Meanwhile, Samuli is kind of working around. Brian Ferry and the Blackjack 3 trying to look for something to shoot at.
And Stone Falcon does get picked. I don't think the caps are far enough for Dog Squad, so all Ghost of Nox needs to do is quickly, yep, they picked up the Blackjack. They need all those mechs on the top to spread out across the map, conserve their lights here, and just sweep and go take those caps.
So with that, Ghost of Nox gets control of the top of the map. And they also flip the Theta cap, which that's a huge flip for Ghost of Nox. You can see Sepp and Hacks have now they're now playing a little bit cagier. They have 2 cap at the moment. They'll have to see if they can get some kind of pick. They do have a little bit of time with caps because they are ahead at the moment. But whether or not they're going to be able to capitalize that, who knows? Buster in that K9 goes down by Sepp. Grayson and the Commando is there.
Grayson is also 1 click. It's Lionel that's going to need to carry this fight for him. So Hacks really needs to get up. Sepp needs to stop taking damage. He's got more guns than Hacks, but way less armor.
Yeah, the Commando pulling back. You can see Hacks
and Lionel's looking for the kill.
In.
He should be able to heat cap the Vigo here. Oh, Sepp. He just needed to play safe, and I think Ghost and Nox is doing exactly what they need to right now. They've got the Annihilator covering Sigma because he can't go cap, and they've just got everybody converging down there. And yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time until they get the Hacks and polish him off at this point. But he's doing a lot of work while he's still alive.
Yeah, the Flamer on the Commando is helping to keep the Vapor Eagle heat capped, or at least make it dangerous to fire anything.
Hacks is 1 click in that Commando now. I don't think he has any easy targets left.
No,
And there
not
he
really.
goes. Goes to Nox, brings it to the true best of 3.
That's right. Which means, which means we are gonna see a
Hibernal eye
hibernal
blasting rift.
snow canyon. All right, let's take a look at those damage numbers.
So on the GNX side, immediately you see Lionel with that Vigo pulled a ton of work. I mean, 5 kills, 600 damage. He was definitely, and I mean, as he should be. I think PPC mediums are very, very strong in this map, and he definitely did what he needed to there to bring the team forward. Buster still pulling good damage in the Irby, Carbon Fire 390 in the Rifleman, and Simulia 400 in the Vulcan. I mean, all good numbers. The biggest, you know, damage drop offs on their side were Grayson, who just got pounded by that strike in the Commando, and I think probably took a heavy goss to the face, which 25-ton mech, 2 heavy goss, and could keep standing. Meanwhile, Zenitsu didn't get to apply that Annihilator much. He took a very conservative position, only 139. And out of the Dog Squad side, you have Stony doing 400 in the Annihilator, Sep with 400 in the Vulcan. Pretty good spread from their damage overall. I mean, I think they did a generally good job of keeping people alive and rotating armor. I would say I don't think any of their mechs were really hurt, save for Bradley and Brian, who were taking very aggressive trades from the tanks there. They were down at like 70% before the rest of the team, but then, once the push started happening, they were able to keep everybody alive.
All right, so I think we'll have to swap the teams over now.
Yeah, I was just checking,
Yeah,
and yes, we will.
yeah. Teams will have to get swapped over for the for the tiebreaker, which is going to be on Hibernal Rift. So looking at the map strat, so I'll say one last certainly called it. There is an aggressive push to Theta, but there was also the two commandos, one from either team, basically got to the Theta ramp at the same time, almost like bang on at the same time, and started to fight it. But what the difference was is that because they did a 4 push early. From Ghost from the Dog Squad side, they were able to essentially take control of that Theta cap early on, giving Dog Squad a chance to get into position, which their early game positions were actually quite, were fairly decent. They had a lot of control. After they got Theta, they were able to break off and cap other points. Meanwhile, on the Ghost of Nox side, taking those high trade positions as well, and the Annihilator moving into into a high signal location, kind of dancing between Charlie 5 and Charlie 6, trying to see about getting sight lines through into Delta 4. To get some of that denial. Then of course you had the Vapor Eagle, you had the Heavy Gauss Thanatos, the Heavy Gauss Thanatos that certainly did some work, and it's one of the scariest mechs that you'll find in this on the field, just because of the dual Heavy Gauss. And then it just turned into who was going to push, who was going to receive that push, and whether they were able to take it. And unfortunately, Dog Squad, they had a push come in. GNX did push in. They kind of came over this way, they came that way. The early fight for that push, it could have gone either way. They were getting some good strikes off early on. Kagaru, who was down in Delta 4, took a strike. There were kind of strikes dropped in that area that brought some mechs down, but ultimately GNX just showed a lot of control as they came over, and of course losing mechs in the Theta area certainly helped, or didn't help Dog Squad's cause. It certainly helped GNX.
Yeah, and I think the part that I didn't predict, which was the most surprising for me, was that when Dog Squad wipe when they made this push and they had their
Mhm.
mechs sitting here and here, that rather than taking this control down at the bottom, GNX opted to just full, like, basically field reset out to this box, which almost cost them, because I mean the tickets were running for a really long time, and I think um, Dog Squad kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit, because they had people still pretty aggressively trading. I mean, they had their summoner and their blackjack taking trades against the rifleman, and they did not have really the best push receiving setup for what was coming, because they had, I think, I think it was Helios and the Cyclops still looking across Theta for these shots, which you can get some good money if you hit a heavy Gauss on a light on Theta at that range, but they needed to play really defensively. Like they needed to turtle, they needed to have a concave setup for that push because with the way that match was playing out, that was what Ghost of Nox had to do. They had no other option but to do that. And
Mhm.
when it came, it was just like it was somehow unexpected for Dog Squad, and they were not set up to receive it properly. You had a bunch of split up fights, which to their credit, the light squad for Dog Squad I think was doing pretty much everything they needed to. They were denying that cap. They were like viciously biting the ankles of the Ghost of Nox lights, but there just seemed like a lack of coordination on receiving that push, and that like Ghost of Nox, pick up the pace quickly enough, put down mechs so that they were able to spread out in time to stop the caps.
Mhm. All right, so let's look ahead to Hibernal Rift.
Oh, so this is going to be interesting. I have seen, and I know Ghost of Nox is very much a team that likes to throw. I would say likes to throw people off with different strategies. I believe it was I think it was this match actually in their match one. They tried a Daka push down this way, which I would say is kind of uncharacteristic of them from what we've been seeing of that. Always bring a rifleman, always stand back with the Annihilator and things like that. And I think that was against Gudron, and I think they lost that one to just like mechs getting picked. They couldn't get all the guns in the same target. People went down different alleys. So they are now on they're on team one again, and I don't know if they're going to retry that and say, oh, we messed up something, but we know how to fix it. If they think that'll be effective against Dog Squad, or if they're going to go for their standoff setup. I mean, we've seen all kinds of different things on Canyon so far, both in the previous tournament in TOC and in this one of just people doing blitz fast pushes. They've come down both sides of the map. They've apparently come through the center, like we saw earlier today.
Mhm.
Um, and then we've also seen just many teams, sit back and just take trades. And I think Ghost of Nox is more than comfortable to do that. From the Dog Squad side, based on what we've been seeing, I would also expect a more traditional setup. I mean, no spoilers from you because you probably know better than I. But I'm expecting like a Volcano mech, Charlie 4, something in Bravo 3. But we could just as easily see them just taking the fight to Ghost of Nox, knowing that Ghost of Nox are probably not expecting it with how they played the previous two games. So,
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting match indeed. I think we're down to like 2 minute warning for Team One.
I think we've passed at this point because I think it was like 10:45.
We'll just
It's
say less than 1 minute.
so pick it up.
It's my fault. I'll take ownership because I've got a timer on my on my phone. I
Yeah, I
forgot
mean,
to.
I'm just rattling off over here. Uh, all right. Hopefully, they got the right spawns there. They can lock. All right. I mean, I'll give Team 2 5 minutes, but I'm pretty sure with how long they've been sitting there, they're just gonna boop 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 and be good to go.
Yeah, very very
So,
likely.
looking at the spawns here, you got Ghost and Nox with an Alpha Charlie split. Looks like they've got their heavies and assaults in Charlie. So, is anyone surprised? It looks like we're gonna see a kind of standard play, probably some lights making a move for Theta early, like we've seen everybody do. It's so important on this map because it's so hard to hold any other three cap that doesn't involve Theta. Um, and they're probably going to see some sort of stationary setup. But this is also the same sort of setup I would see if you were going to do that DACA push that we talked about them trying before. So
Hmm.
nothing's set in stone yet. Meanwhile, Dog Squad, okay, they locked.
Yep, they're locked and ready to go.
Right, then I'll launch us. They're taking heavy alpha with their lights and putting their assaults and heavies in Bravo Charlie. Um, So probably that traditional setup. I think you only ever see somebody put a mech in Bravo if you're planning on sticking it on that hill that we talked about earlier in the top left of the map. That hill that's in front of, I said Sigma, I think.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I and with Brian playing the blackjack previously, I'm expecting he's going to be in a blackjack or a Vigo sitting up there. And it looks like the camera put me over there, and yeah, I can confirm that is exactly what he's got. So he'll be over there with the Vigo. Um, on the rest of Dog Squad, we have a MPL Phoenix Hawk again, MPL Vulcan. They got the Commando again, and I believe it's an MPL Panther. And for the heavy lance, we've got Annihilator 2A with looks like UX, Cyclops with that looks like UX as well, and then a Death Strike with UX Peep.
All right, let's take a look at Ghost of Nox. We have the Zeal, we got the K9, Annihilator 1P, Bloodass, Wolfhound, Summoner, Rifleman 2C, and Vulcan. And there we go. We do have a heavy Epsilon side push from Ghosts of Nox. Their Summoner leading the charge with a Bloodass, Rifleman 2C behind, and also their Annihilator. They're probably looking for that for those nice little concave positions leading up towards Epsilon. And
Wow, I'm surprised. Ghost Nox really did not. They didn't care about that early Theta Cap at all. They've opted for the looks like mid range mediums again with the Vulcan and the Uziel being laser bomb, I believe. Oh no, the Uziel's MPLs this time, but he is going to be slower than the rest of the mech. So if it comes to some sort of cap trading game, he is going to be losing that.
So Dog Squad needs to realize that they have the advantage here at Theta right now. It's 4 versus 2. Meanwhile, you've got the Wolf Grayson, and the Wolfhound is way off on the right. I think he's going to go for Epsilon and maybe look for the Ghost of Nox assaults. The Dog Squad making an aggressive push around the backside, around the other side of Theta, looking at Inosuke, trying to get that Uziel down
smell blood on that
77%,
Uziel.
74%.
But they need to be really careful. Zenitsu I thought he was going to cover that, and he just kind of bailed. So yeah, Inosuke losing his back coverage. I think that was like a miscommunication there, because he just really got blindsided there, and they did not punish Dog Squad much for that move.
Meanwhile, looking over by Epsilon, you can see the trade battle is underway. You got the Helios and the Cyclops, Aza and the Death Strike, Stone Falcon and the Annihilator. Stone Falcon is doing an aggressive push with Helios not far behind, looking to push into the Blood Asp. Blood
And
Asp
Dog
down
Squad's
80.
diving on the other lights in the middle as well, so they're just going for the throat. They want to end this game right now.
They are pushing aggressively. The
But
Blood Asp is lost a shoulder.
Stoney needs to slow down though. He's about to come around this corner completely alone. He's already eating a ton of fire.
Yeah. There we go. Now the shoulder goes down for the Blood Ass. Blood Ass is now down just to 1 Ultra 10. The Summoner pulls back at 55%. Stoney continuing to push around the corner against Carbon Fiber. Goes down to the Rifleman 2C.
Nasty strike though on Helios in the meantime.
Helios and Aza are shooting down from up top. Helios taking out the Blood Asp, leaving the Rifleman 2C and the Summoner.
Meanwhile, Hax takes out Buster in the back, and yeah, Inosuke is also being down there. So that's most of the light pack cleaned up for Ghost of Nox. So Dog Squad could theoretically back off on this, but I think their assaults are so entrenched, they're just going to try to finish it out right here. And their MPL lights are getting in. It's going to be how well they can chop up the backs. I think they've cut in a little too early, and Ghost of Nox is able to turn around on this.
Looking at the Summoner, still has 3 peeps, but has an open torso. Carbon Fiber in the Rifleman 2C has lost a side torso, down at 34%. The other side torso is open, so he can lose. He's very, very fragile at this point. Brian Ferry taking down. Wow. Yep. Wow.
And Zenitsu is not long for this world either, but I mean, nobody on Dog Squad's really fresh except for Brian and that Vigo, so this could flip quickly if they can get some good picks. I think they just need to keep their heads out, and Grayson gets picked in the back by Pi. That's huge. Now it's just down to Samuli and 5 mechs in the field. He just doesn't have the guns. Not with that Flamer Commando on him.
Yeah, Samuli's pulling back 36%, getting chased
lagged?
down.
He's overheated anyway, and that's it. Dog Squad pulls through with the small bracket upset of 6th seed beating 5th seed to move on.
Nice return by Dog Squad, eking out that second win. That was well played. Let's take a look at the damage numbers.
I mean, I believe this is what, a 5-3 or 5-8. 5 mechs left, 8-3. Goodness, numbers. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think it by how many mechs are left, but that was really close. I don't think a single mech besides that Vapor Eagle was above 50%. Like maybe the Commando was at like 53. And you're talking the light mechs. So I mean, just looking at the damage numbers, like everybody from Dog Squad was shipping in there. You have a bunch of people sitting over 400. Brian and the Beagle at 364. Commando doing the least, but that's not that unexpected. Meanwhile, on the Ghost and Ox side, Zenitsu doing a ton of work in that ER large annihilator, 600 damage. Um, Probably got a good strike in there, and yeah, Carbon Fire, Samuli both pulling 400. I mean, none of the damage too bad except for poor Inosuke, who really got blindsided on Theta there. And Grayson only getting 192 in with the Wolfhound. Yeah, I mean, that was such a game of inches, and it feels to me like Ghost Nox dropped the ball on that one on communication. I mean, they had. And I'm going to go back to the map strat here. But when Sepp was getting really testy on that corner in C3 and taking those pokes, and Inosuke standing right here, and he had an annihilator just standing right here, tons of ER large. I'm thinking, they're gonna come around that corner and they're just gonna Sepp's gonna get blasted. Like any dog squad mech that comes around is gonna get destroyed. And instead, I think Zenitsu stepped forward to here, uh, and Inosuke just got ripped apart by that medium pulse light pack, and they got very little return fire for that. And like the fact that Zenitsu was not looking that way makes me think like, uh, I mean, they knew the mechs were there, right? So that just feels like a miscommunication there. And then to have their lights hang out in the trench when there was such a dangerous pack for Dog Squad, they needed to, like we saw with um, oh, it was I think it was Diamond Sharks where they had a fight they could take on Charlie 5, and they need to just bring the mechs over. Like just get them out of the trench, get them to where your teammates can cover. And unfortunately, they just bled too much there to bring it back even though they cleaned up the assault pack.
Hmm. Yeah, I think what really won it for Dog Squad there was they didn't wait. Well, they didn't wait very long. They stacked up and then they moved. And that's both on the Theta stack with the light pack that was there. Again, we had 4 mechs on the Dog Squad side versus 2 on the GNX side. The GNX opted to keep their Wolfhound over, playing over on the Epsilon side, which left 3 assaults from GNX, or from GNX, from Dog Squad, basically lining up here and then pushing in aggressively into the Ghost of Nox firing line, and just taking their mechs down very quickly. I think that carving that Blood Asp in half was a major turning point, because that's a lot of DPS that goes away when you neuter the Blood Asp.
Yeah, and part of that I think is also the mech lab. Like the Blood Asp, I don't think Ghost of Nox took a Cyclops, right? They didn't have a sleep near.
Nope, no.
So
But Dog Squad did.
yeah, and if you're talking a Daka mech, the Blood Asp packs a punch, but Sleipnir does the same thing for being way less fragile, and you saw that cost them because they did shred Stone Falcon in that Annihilator. Like he was at a lower percentage than the Blood Asp when he came around the corner, but he had his guns, and that's what matters at the end of the day. The Blood Asp, and it's I think why you've seen a lot less of the Daka Mad Cat Bees, and when you look at those matches like RJF and Oops, when they're taking the Blood Asp, it's usually some weird build that's not the high mounted ACs, because those torsos are just bullet bait. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, very decisive move by Dog Squad, which is really good, because in the first match, that was what was costing them, was they danced around with their lights, and when they finally made a move, it worked out and helped that there was a disconnected Annihilator for Ghost of Nox. But yeah, I mean, they went for it and they were decisive. And even if it wasn't the best time to push, they just all went as a team, and it worked out well because of that.
Absolutely. So that means that Dog Squad advances to go up to play against Smoke Adders 373, and Ghost of Nox is eliminated from the tournament. Now, this could get interesting. This could get very interesting. So of course we've got the matches that are coming up next weekend. Haven't been booked or anything like that yet, so nothing's been identified for match timings quite yet. But you could see dogs if Dog Squad is able to win against Smoke Adders, that pairs them against Oops. So that's Team 1 versus Team 2 in the losers bracket, assuming that they pull out a win against Smoke Adders. That's going to
Continuing
be
the 228 tradition of knocking your sister teams out of the tourney.
pretty much, yeah, pretty much. So looking at kind of the state of things, like I mentioned, that moves moves Dog Squad up to play Smoke Adders. We will have Pee Pee Poo Poo against the winner of Not Dropship 5 versus Phoenix Legion. We already have the first winners bracket final match at least identified, which is First Jaguar Guards or JGX versus Russian Clan Jade Falcon or RJF. It's going to be some exciting matches coming up in the coming weekends.
That's for
Um,
sure.
so one last, we've now cast 4 matches today. We did all the matches. We gave things away. We had some fun. How did you have fun today? Was it good?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a blast. A lot of good matches to cast. I mean even just these last ones with Ghost and Nox, and the RJF ones. I mean just I love seeing the matches where the team recognizes what they need to do and applies it and flips things around, because we definitely, I don't think every single match today was a case of one team took an advantage and the other team uh, failed to really counter it or fought back. There were plenty of matches that swung back and forth. Certainly saw that in this match we just cast. So yeah, it was
Mhm.
really good. I enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll have good matches like that coming up.
Yes,
So
absolutely. So
always a blast.
congratulations to Dog Squad for taking out that win, and also good games, Ghost of Nox, who, like I said, does get now gets eliminated from the tournament. That is going to be it for us for the evening. Thank you everybody for joining in for the MechWarrior Online Championship Series semifinals. My name is Nutty Red, and that's not One Last Bite. Okay, maybe
No,
it
it
is.
is. It is one
It
last.
is. Are
Don't
you
listen to Nutty
are
Rat.
you sure?
I'm one
Are you
last
sure?
bite.
All right. Thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next weekend for more competitive MechWarrior action. If you are new to MWO Leagues, please consider hitting the follow button. Also, check out the MWO Leagues or MWO Comp Discord for other competitive MechWarrior
Yeah, I think
tournaments
ISC is right
that will
around the
come up.
corner, right?
That's right. ISC's in January. We have other comps that come out throughout the year. So if you are interested in getting into competitive play, make sure you go to the MWO Comp Discord and participate. Competitive play is for everyone of all skill levels. You don't have to be the best at the game. You can be a potato like me and still play in competitive circuits. Have a wonderful night, folks, and we'll see you again real soon for more MechWarrior action.